Hi guys, welcome to the corrections for the week 25 spiral. Make sure when you miss something that you're making a full correction, not just the correct answer, but the work that goes with it. Monday, the graph shows the Ramirez family budget. Their budget is based on a monthly income of $4,000. Determine if each statement is true or false. A, the family budgeted $1,500 for rent. B, the family budgeted $800 for food. C, the family budgeted $200 more for utilities than for other expenses. D, the family budgeted $1,200 more for rent than for food. So this is a problem where you're going to use percent of a number. So starting down here for A, I looked at the graph, and for rent right here, 50% of this $4,000 is going to that. So I found 50% of $4,000, which is $2,000. So that one is a false. For B, for food, I look over and I see food is 20% of the budget. So I found 20% of 4,000 multiplied 0.20 by 800, or I'm sorry, 4,000, I got 800. So that is true. C, I went ahead and just found the amounts. I guessed the utilities and other, but technically it says the family budgeted $200 more for utilities than for other expenses. If you look at the graphs here for utilities and other, utilities is actually less. So that would tell us that that's false. And D, the family budgeted $1,200 more for rent than for food. Well, we found that rent is $2,000 and that food is $800. And when I subtracted those, I got $1,200, which means that one is true. Tuesday, the graph shows the results of a survey of 510 students. Determine if each of the following are good estimates. Select yes or no. So the keyword is estimates, so you're not going to get exactly those numbers, but you're going to say yes or no based on if they're in close proximity. So A, about 125 students prefer cats. B, about 200 students prefer dogs. C, about 150 students prefer fish. So what I started with is cats, and I looked over here for cats, and 24% prefer cats, so I did 0.24 times 510, and I got 124.4. So I said that that's a yes, because that is in close proximity to 125. B talks about dogs, and over here I see dogs are 38%, so I found 38% of 510, and I got 193.8, and I said yes because that is also in close proximity to 200 students. For the fish, down here, or over here it says 20% prefer fish, so I found 0.20 times 510, which is 102. So between 102 and 150 students, that's kind of a big gap right there. So I would say that that would be a no. Wednesday, select values to set up a percent proportion that represents each situation, then solve each problem. Round to the nearest tenth if necessary. Situation 1, a pair of shoes is on sale for 80% of the original price. The sale price is $60. What was the original price? So you're going to choose the option that has the correct proportion with the correct answer included. Situation 2, Maggie's goal was to collect 60 canned goods for a food drive. She actually collected 80. What percent of her goal did Maggie reach? So again, select the option that has the correct proportion with the correct answer. Situation 3, Craig has made 60% of 80 free throw attempts this season. How many free throws has he made? So select the correct proportion with the correct answer. All right, so for situation one, I use the percent proportion for these. So it says a pair of shoes is on sale for 80% of the original price. If the sale price is 60, what is the original price? So percent goes over 100, so that was easy to place. Sale price is 60, so that's the part, or the is, that's why it goes on top. And then we want to find the original price, the whole, which is going to go on the bottom. So that is our proportion, and once you multiply and divide, you'll get $75. For situation two, Maggie's goal was to collect 60 canned goods for a food drive. She actually collected 80. What percent of her goal did Maggie reach? So is of percent of 100, we're asked what the percent is, so that's why there's an X over the 100. Now with part to whole, her goal was 60, so that's the whole or the of. She wants a goal of 60, but she actually collected 80, which is more. So that goes for the part. So I did multiply and divide, and I got 133.3 repeating, and it said round to the nearest tenth if necessary. So she actually did 133.3% of her goal, and that should make sense because she got 20 cans over her goal. Situation three, Craig has made 60% of 80 free throws. And how many free throws has he made? So I multiplied and divided, and I got 48, so 48 free throws. Thursday, Dario increased his savings from $350 to $413, while Monica increased her savings from $225 to $270. Fill in each blank below to write a true statement. So this is a percent of change problem. So what I would do is find the percent of change for each person, and then you're going to fill in the correct first box with Monica or Dario, and then you're going to say what the difference in the percent of increases are. So choose the option that has the correct person's name and the correct percent of increase. All right, so down here is my work. So I started with Dario to find the percent of change. First you subtract to find the amount of change, and then you put that over the original amount of $350, and I divided and got 0.18, which is an 18% increase. Then with Monica, I started by subtracting to find the amount of change, and I put that over the original amount of $225, and I divided and got 0.20, which a 20 is a 20% increase. So that means Monica had a higher percent of increase in savings. The difference in the percents, 20 minus 18 is 2%. So the difference in the percents of increase is 2%. Congratulations, you made it halfway through. Here's a picture of PJ trying to fit in his new bed in my classroom. Make sure you have the following problems in front of you. Again, full corrections for anything that you missed, not just the answer. Number one, which container holds more detergent? Justify your answer. So my hint, notice Soapy Suds is a rectangular prism and Clean and Bright is a triangular prism. So remember the two formulas that you need to compare. So with Soapy Suds, I used length times width times height, and I multiplied and got 1,248 cubic inches. With Clean and Bright, it is a triangular prism. So it's base times height divided by 2 times the height of the prism. So the base of that triangular prism is 13, and the height is 8, so that's why I did 13 times 8 divided by 2, and multiply it by the height of the prism, which is 9. I went ahead and simplified and ended up with 468 cubic inches. So Soapy Suds holds more detergent because it has the higher volume. Number two, the volume of a paperclip box is 1.5 cubic inches. Which of the following are possible dimensions of the box? Select all that apply. So you are going to select all of the answers that apply for this. So possible of more than one answer. If you do not select all of the answers or the incorrect, the whole thing will be marked wrong. So be careful and show your work. All right, so I have arrows pointing to my work. It's the first one and the last one that give you the same 1.5 cubic inches. I just multiplied length times width times height. And then when I got 1.5 cubic inches, that's a yes. And when I didn't, it's a no. 3, a paper mill pays a flat rate for every cubic foot of wood that is sold to them. If you have 20 logs to sell that are the same size as the one shown below, how many cubic feet of wood would you have to sell? So first of all, this is a cylinder. So remember the formula for volume of a cylinder? Actually, I'll give it to you. Pi times the radius squared times height. Remember, we want the radius. So take a look at the dimension that we're actually given. Then we are going to have 20 of these. So I want to know how many cubic feet of wood would you have to sell? So I used the formula pi times the radius squared times the height. I substitute my values 3.14. I didn't put times 2 squared because the formula calls for a radius. So I have to divide the diameter by 2, and I got 1 squared. 1 times 1 is 1. So when I multiplied 3.14 times 1 times 15, I got that it's 47.1 cubic feet. But that is not the answer to my problem, because I want to know how many for 20 logs, so I went ahead and multiplied that by 20, so final answer, 942 cubic feet. Number 4, the diagram shows the dimensions of an office. It costs about 11 cents per year to air condition 1 cubic foot of space. On average, how much does it cost to air condition the office for 1 month? So what you're going to do is, my hint is to find the volume first, and then you're going to do something with this price here, and then also pay attention to the part where it says 1 month. All right, so I did volume equals length times width times height, so 12 times 32 times 25. And that's a volume of 9,600, oops, it should be cubic feet. From here, hold on, let me change the color. I went ahead and I took the cubic feet and multiplied it by 11 cents per year. So that would be $1,056 per year. But now as I'm looking through my work as I go through this, that's not what it asked. We wanted to know how much it's going to be to air condition for 1 month. So last step is I'm going to take that 1,056 and I want to divide it by 12 because there's 12 months in a year. So 1,056 divided by 12 it comes out to 88. So correct answer would be $88 per month. Congratulations, you've made it through the spiral. Now I'm telling the truth when I say that we're not going to have a spiral for 2 weeks because we have 2 short weeks coming up. So I will see you guys in a couple of weeks, and we're ending on a picture of PJ. He's going for a haircut this weekend, so he's going to look very different in the next videos. Have a good week, guys.